Amoco, your full-service station located on North Franklin Street across from McCaskey High. By J.C. Snavely for lumber and building materials, located at 351 James Street in Lancaster and at 150 Main Street in Landisville. By Domino's Pizza, no problem, pizza delivered free in 30 minutes. James F. Wild Incorporated Auto Parts, and our good friends out at AMC Wonderland Cinema 4, located on Route 30 East next to Dutch Wonderland. Well, it's only the third conference game of the year for Millersville. It's been kind of an interesting non-league season for John Cochan's Marauders as they went to Alaska, they went to the West Coast, and Bob Thompson will be along in a moment or two to talk a little bit about the Marauders, who come into this game still as a favorite in the Eastern Division of the PSAC. East Stroud, meanwhile, here tonight with something to celebrate. They won their first conference game in nearly 2 years just this past Monday night by beating Mansfield. They were 0-12 last year in Coach Sal Mentesana's rookie year, and this past year they were 0-2 until the victory Monday night over Mansfield. So Stroud, again, celebrating to a degree, but as Bob said during our stand-up, they really have their work cut out for them tonight. Millersville having won 46 of the last 47 games here on their home floor. If anyone can lead the way, though, for East Stroud, it is Jonathan Roberts. He's a 6'6" junior. There he is. He is the Warriors' leading player and one of the top players in all of the PSAC. As a matter of fact, last year as a sophomore, Roberts was the Eastern Division Player of the Year, and coming into the game tonight, number 33 leads the conference in rebounding, averaging just under 13 per game, and he is one of the top scorers, averaging over 20 per game. So he is a real force and someone that Millersville will simply try to contain. I'm sure Coach Cochan realizes you don't stop a player with the talents of Jonathan Roberts. He will be flanked in the front court by junior Ed Urey, and you will notice as I give you the Warriors starting lineup, they have no seniors in their starting lineup. So second-year coach Mentesana is building at East Stroud. Urey is a junior. Also in the front court is Kevin Everly. That's Everly with a V, 6'6" junior, number 50. Their second leading scorer is only a freshman. Rick Morgan is the number 2 guard or shooting guard, number 23 at 6'3". Morgan hails out of the Levittown area down near Philly, out of Holy Ghost Prep High School. And also starting at guard is their three-point bombardier, if you will, Mike Del Grosso. Del Grosso out of Liberty and Bethlehem High School. Del Grosso wears number 4. Well, we were just about to turn things over to Bob Thompson, but he gets a bit of a reprieve as we are rising here at Millersville's Usilla Gym. The Millersville Pep Band, and I understand some of the ROTC people here on campus will be presenting the colors, and we are rising for our national anthem. Well, Bob Thompson, we mentioned the Marauders winning 46 of 47. That's regular season games. They are an almost unbelievable 72-7 since John Kachan arrived on campus a few years ago.
Well, that's right, and that's one of the things John Kachan likes to stress. This is their building, and when you come in here, you're going to know that. And so far, in the time that he's been here, all but 7 teams have known it, and of those 7, a couple of those are repeats, but they were good teams in the early years. At any rate, Millersville doing pretty well this year, 11-5 overall, some tough losses to some tough teams in some tournaments in Alaska and California, as you know. John Kachan wanted to get them tournament tested tough by the time the NCAAs come around. They played a Bloomsburg team last week that was said to be a soft 12-1. They're 13-1 now, and it's a little harder after beating Millersville up there. They played them very tough, but that was then. This is now. They're playing East Stroudsburg tonight. Millersville coming in with an average of 88 points a game and giving up 72 a game. That's pretty good. Field goals for the team, 53%. Three-point field goals, 46%. And the free throw average for the team, 70%. So those numbers are just about where John Kachan would like to see them. Maybe a little better on the free throw line, but you can't have everything, of course, Bill. In the meantime, tonight, I should say, in terms of 3 points, Matt Harris has a shot at breaking the 3-point record that Andrew Dollar Marshall held for many years here. He had 67. He's one away, and he'll tie it one more, and he's going to break it. And the likelihood is that Matt Harris is going to break that record. He's a 6'1", 180-pound junior guard. He's going to be one of the starters tonight, along with Mike Monroe in the backcourt. Tommy Gaines, of course, leading Millersville. He's going to be in there at the forward, sometimes sliding to center position, depending on what they need. Eric Nkawi in the front court as well, the transfer who's helped them out enormously. And, of course, Phil Nevin, their center, is going to be trying to block off, as you mentioned, Roberts for East Stroudsburg in the middle. Roberts pretty fast, so Nevin is going to have his hands full. We'll see if they stay with that early in the game. And right now, I think Millersville is probably feeling pretty confident. As we mentioned earlier on, Bill, this is their building. They have a very good record here. Stroudsburg not looking that good, as you mentioned, 1 and I think now 14 over the last 2 years so far into this season. So East Stroudsburg has a way to go yet. And they're going to have a tough time getting it tonight against Millersville, but that's we don't want to give the game away yet.
Excuse me, Bob. I want to point something else out that Greg Wright, the SID here, who I understand you will be talking to live at halftime, mentioned to us. Not only did Stroud win their first game in 2 years, league game, that is Monday night against Mansfield, they took Westchester into overtime and had Bloomsburg by 11 a week or so ago at home. Of course, lost that game eventually, as they did the Westchester game. But they've been in their games, they have been playing tough, and they have been improving. And that's one of the things that obviously any coach is looking for. So it won't necessarily be that easy. I think one of the keys, though, Jonathan Roberts has proven that he is an outstanding rebounder, but he doesn't have much of a supporting cast. Millersville with a decided height advantage, and I think the rest of the Warriors are going to have to box out, or Millersville will clean them off the boards, with maybe the exception of Roberts.
Well, that's a key to it, of course, the Millersville bench, and that's something that is a trademark of John Kachan. He likes to have players he can take in and out. Of course, Bobby Bradfield will come off the bench. He's always a threat. So their 6-man matchup is pretty good compared to East Stroud, but I think it's going to be interesting for a while. Maybe the difference here is that Stroudsburg doesn't have any seniors in the starting lineup. One junior, Roberts, and then, of course, sophomores and even a freshman or two thrown in there. So it's a young team. They're still learning.
Robert, we will be back with tonight's tap-off between the Marauders and the Warriors after this commercial break. Now introduce the Warrior starting lineup to this crowd tonight. And Bob, I would safely say Fusillo's about half full, maybe a little bit stronger than that. I think as we've alluded, and I'm sure we've gotten this across, Millersville a decided favorite here tonight. I think a lot of people decided, well, they'll sit home and watch it on Suburban Cable 22 because the Marauders should win handily. They figure.
No doubt that's what they're doing, Bill. They're all sitting there with bated breath, no doubt, too, waiting for our call on this game. That is, by the way, you mentioned the Millersville PA address announcer. That is Ralph Antonins, the infamous Doc Rock, who brings this to us every night here at Fusillo when the Marauders are in town, and he does a fine job.
By the way, Millersville's next PSAC game is Saturday night as they make that long trip up to Mansfield. Made that drive a few times, Robert. That's fun.
Yeah, that takes, that's about a 4-hour stint that gets you just about ready to go to sleep by the time you get there, and then of course you have to wake up.
And the way Mansfield's been playing this year, you could go to sleep midway through the game. Millersville will be at Mansfield Saturday, and then they're back here with an interdivision contest against the defending PSAC champion California Vulcans. Should be a heck of a game next Monday night, January 30th, right here at Pustillo.
We hope that the Vulcans don't live long and prosper against the Marauders next week.
Ooh.
I'm sorry.
Well, we are ready to go. Millersville looking for win number 12, and for Stroud, they're looking for their second straight conference win. It's been a long time since the Warriors have been able to say that. Just keep your eye on number 33. He is 6'6". He goes 235 pounds. He is a Charles Barkley power forward type that's actually listed as the Warriors center, and he is a good one. Jonathan Roberts. Millersville, of course, in white, trimmed in gold and black. The Warriors in red, trimmed in white. And that is Roberts jumping center against the Marauders' 6'11", Phil Nevin. Tap is won by the Warriors. And we have a surprise already in the Stroud starting lineup. Number 34 is Todd Payton, a freshman forward who was not slated to start, and they sneaked him in there on us. Todd Payton, P-A-N-T-O-N, 6'5".
And we've had our first turnover of the evening, too, as they were looking to pass it inside. Nobody there.
Well, Matt Harris is trying quickly to tie that Andrew Marshall record, Bob, but a little strong on that first one.
That's right. That's the gentleman wearing number 33 out there. If I'm incorrect, correct me, but I think that was Andrew Darla Marshall's number as well while he was here.
You're absolutely right. Mind like a steel trap. And here's the young man that was supposed to be the sixth man for the Warriors, Jock Armand, also starting. Here's Monroe in a hurry for Millersville. Probably should have taken that to the hole. Instead gives it up. Gaines misses, and so does Yankowie. And the smallest Warrior, Armand, comes away with a loose ball.
And you can see the Millersville height advantage.
A three-pointer to start the scoring for the Warriors, Kevin Everly. Yes. Good ball movement by the Warriors, and Everly gets the 3 points. Stroud leads early. Eric Yankowie. Tommy Gaines, and of course he's a familiar sight to all of you on Suburban Cable. Look at Nevin pounding the boards, and we mentioned that in the early going. The Warriors will have problems against a taller and more aggressive Millersville team rebounding-wise.
And Nevin just pushed Roberts out of the way.
Roberts answers at the offensive end. Roberts is from Philadelphia, went to Olney High School. Here's Yankowie.
And that's a tough neighborhood, by the way, Bill.
Harris tries it again. Nope. But again, Millersville with an offensive rebound. You're not going to beat many teams when you give them 2 and 3 shots at the bucket. Here's Monroe getting fouled as he goes to the basket.
It's a blocking foul in number 12. Jack Armand.
Foul. Armand. First team first. 22. Uri in the lineup.
Here's Ed Uri, who we was originally told would start. He did not, but he's in there now. Uri, a 6'4" junior. Number 22. Gives up 7 inches to Nevin. Yankowie gets the roll.
Very nice play, and Nevin screened out Roberts on that, opening up Yankowie for the shot.
5-4 Warriors on top. Millersville opens in a man-to-man, and look at Edwards. He just goes, or Roberts, I should say, went right around Yankowie, but missed a shot.
It was a nice pass into him, too, but he was screened off just a little bit by Nevin, and Nevin comes down with the board. Now it's 3-point time.
There it is.
And that ties the record.
7-5 Marauders.
Now, if you've scouted Millersville at all, you know that Matt Harris lets them fly. You'd think you'd have a man right in his face as soon as he gets the ball, but he's gotten 3 fairly open jump shots. Here's Roberts, falls away, and the official says before the shot on Nevin.
Yeah, we've got a foul on Mr. Nevin as Roberts is moving, and they are trying to get that ball into Roberts every time down the court.
He could cause Nevin to have a very long night tonight. Robert.
Morgan in the lineup for East
Well, he's not stopping him on the offensive end or stopping him from getting the offensive rebound. But I think Mr. Nevin's going to have a very difficult time stopping Robert's offense as well. We'll see.
23 is Rick Morgan, and he was bottled up in the corner there. Nice defense by Harris.
Tried it again. Another turnover.
Yankowie, you bet.
Oh, nice play.
With emphasis, Bob, Millersville leads by 4.
That was well set up. Yankowie filled the proper lane that time. He got past his man and just blew in for the slam.
It all started on the transition with the Harris steal. Monroe's nice feed. Here's Uri from 3. He's got it.
Oh. Nice form on that for Ed Uri.
So it's 9-8. And we've told you that the Warriors have been playing well lately. Yankowie.
And he's fouled.
Fouled by Roberts. Boy, when you're 6'7", 200, and can pop in the 18-footer like that, you're going to make life miserable for your defender.
Yankowie's getting down the floor very quickly, as we mentioned in our pregame comments. He's made quite a difference to this Marauder team. And he stopped, popped, and it was right in, and maybe a little acting there to fall down to the floor, but there was some contact, so it's legit.
Back into the lineup for the Warriors, Mike Del Grosso, number 4. He started, went out for a moment, and he's right back in there as Yankowie misses the first free throw of the night. So it's 11-8 Marauders. And now a buzzer is sounding for some reason. That was the 45-second buzzer that somehow did not get reset, and so it went off, and now they've got it together.
Technical difficulties.
Well, it's great to be back at Millersville. On Suburban Cable 22, we picked up, I guess a good half dozen or so Marauder games live last year, and we enjoy being here. This is our first one of 89, and there will be more.
Tough game right now, this man-to-man the Marauders are going to tire them out quickly.
Uri, nice job by Ed Uri, who has done a heck of a job since coming off the Warrior bench. 11-10 Millersville.
Yeah, nice turnaround.
Oops.
And they've got him back into 1.
That's a carry. Can't do that, Mike. Turnover Marauders. Good double team on Monroe right at the midcourt stripe, and he did turn it over. And East Stroud can take the lead, Bob.
That's right. They're staying right with them. Millersville's playing their game, but East Stroudsburg is too. Nobody's taking anybody out of their game yet.
Morgan, and now Del Grosso. Nice feed to Roberts. Look at him work. Draws another foul on Nevin.
That's 2. He'll have to sit probably.
Phil Nevin can't believe it, as you can see, but he's going to have a rough night. We're going to see Rob Bard here in a hurry, but first we're going to see Bob Bradfield. Now, this will probably mean Gaines moves to center.
Gaines will slide to center. He's a center forward, and that's going to give Roberts a height advantage now in the middle.
Definitely a weight advantage. I think they're actually listed at both at 6'6", Gaines and Roberts, but
that's a short 6'6" for Gaines.
Very broad is Jonathan Roberts.
There's 1.
That ties the score at 11.
Rebounding is going to be a little more evenly distributed now, I think, though.
As we said at the outset, the young man on your screen was the Eastern Division PSAC Player of the Year a year ago. And right here on this floor, he poured in 41 against Millersville. Oh, that's goaltending. No call.
Saying it was still going up, and that was a close call, but a good one.
Uri, he traveled, I believe.
Yes, he did. Right back the other way.
So a good block by Roberts, says the official. I did a little officiating, and I shouldn't have done that. And at the other end, it travels, so Millersville has it right back.
That's the 4th turnover for East Stroudsburg.
Nice break by Bradfield, and Gaines lays it in.
That was a nice move that Bradfield put on down there, twisting and turning and finding Gaines right under the hoop. Laid it right in.
Uri has it blocked by Yankowie. Start by Yankowie.
Now Millersville throws it away.
Millersville likes to run, but of course when you do run, Robert, it opens up lots of turnover possibilities.
Interesting. Roberts brings the ball in on this, and they've got a 2-on-1 break. Nice block by Yankowie. He stayed right with him, and That was number 23 running down there, Morgan. He had another man on his right. He chose to ignore him, tried to go up. Yankowie never even looked at the other man, just stayed with him, blocked it.
I'd say Yankowie is having a fine start, but now he's got Roberts to contend with, and he fouled him.
That's right, Yankowie pulled it that time, just a little too close.
And again, Jonathan Roberts to the free throw line, where he just went 1 for 2. Payton checks back in for the Warriors, Todd Payton. And with 15:15 left in the first half, Millersville up by 2. Roberts can tie.
First one's good. Comes the second one. Tied up.
So Roberts now has 5 to tie teammate Urey. And there's the scoreboard. We're knotted at 13, and Roberts steals it.
Mike Monroe threw that one away.
Nice two-man game, but good hands by Matt Harris. What happened? I believe he stepped in the end line, did Harris, and so the Warriors retained possession.
I think he did, but that was a good play by Harris to get back down there and be moving around and get his hand on that ball, because Roberts otherwise had an easy layup.
Millersville brings Donnie Ross, the freshman out of Hershey, at 6'9" into the lineup. Number 5, Don Ross into the lineup.
Wide open. He didn't take it.
This guy will. Del Grosso, but good D by Bradfield. Millersville's in some kind of a sliding zone right now. Missed, and there's Yankowie again.
Yankowie's been the dominating force so far for Millersville.
Harris
breaks the record.
That breaks the record. Boy, he no sooner touches the ball, Bob, that he lets it go, huh?
Almost another turnover there. Stroud a little sloppy. They've got 5.
Morgan, you bet.
Right back. Millersville didn't get back that time.
Rick Morgan, the second leading Warrior scorer, gets his first bucket, and Millersville is running. It's a track meet. Up, tried the old alley-oop lob, did gains to Yankowie, but he threw it away.
Yankowie's jump was not timed right that time. Remember when John Fox used to do that with Marshall?
Do I ever. Short on the Morgan jumper, and rebound Warriors. Del Grosso gives East Stroud a lead.
And I think that's their first lead since early on when they scored the first basket.
And now a jump ball, says the official, as they tie up Bradfield. And I tell you, the Warriors have come to play, Robert. 17-16, Stroud on top by 1.
And we thought maybe early on they'd make it a tough match. We'll see if we were right. We'll see if they sort of lose some gas at the end there. We'll see.
There is timeout on the floor. And you can see on the Suburban Cable 22 Sports scoreboard, Stroud leads 17-16. We'll be right back. And I tell you, it's kind of a revolving door over in the Stroud bench, Bob. Now we've got our first look at Joe Darling, a 6'8" front court performer. Darling comes from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, Liberty High School, and he's in the lineup now.
Big man, 6'8", and if Kachan doesn't counter, they're going to have an even more definitive height advantage.
Gaines, who's been relatively quiet. Harris hasn't been, won't go. And the Warriors are running. Here's he traveled. Didn't get his hands on that quite right.
Another turnover.
Ed Urey trying to get out on the break, just didn't quite make the catch.
I think both teams are still sort of just checking one another out here during this first few minutes of the game, finding out what each can get and what they can't get.
Millersville goes with Yankowie, Gaines, and Ross up front. Monroe with the basketball, and Harris now. He's going to try another one. Harris is now 2 for 5 from three-point land, and
call that on Yankowie. That's number 2.
The two big Marauders, Yankowie and Nevin, now each with a pair of fouls.
Yeah, they can't afford to lose either of those men.
Taking a little bit of a chance here. Nevin's back. There he is, number 50. Yankowie's going to go out for a rest. Millersville with a big front line. 6'11" Nevin, 6'9" Ross, and 6'6" Tommy Gaines. But they're trailing in the ball game by a point.
Nice pass.
Travel.
And he traveled, yeah. He shuffled his foot as he tried to push that pass back.
Now here comes one of those little rubber balls I like to throw on the floor, and the official can't get a handle on it.
Too small.
Fans are booing him. 13:20 left first half for Millersville. We're live on Suburban Cable 22, and the Marauders down by a point. Low post to Gaines. What's that, a foul on Uri?
Yeah, number 22 got that when he pushed off there.
Only the third team foul on the Warriors.
It's 4 on Millersville, but 2 each on their big men, Cowie and Nevin.
Roberts was taking a little bit of a rest for the Warriors, but he's right back in now. As Ross looks to inbound and does.
The last 3 Marauder shots have been 3-point attempts by Harris.
Gaines blocked from behind nicely, and the Warriors have the basketball. Can extend their lead.
And when Millersville goes into the middle, Stroudsburg's dropping in to cover them. They're getting a lot of help when they're in there.
Stroud with good ball movement in their half-court offense. Nevin has Roberts, so watch Phil Nevin. Now they've got Roberts down low, and he misses. Good D by the Marauders.
Got the shot off anyway, but there were 3 men all over him, so back the other way.
Ross, good pump fake. Oh, won't go. Look at Nevin battling. And he lays it in at 6'11", biggest man on the floor, and Nevin gets the follow-up.
Millersville goes back into the lead as we seesaw here.
Great play there by Del Grosso as he banged it off of Nevin's foot to allow his Warrior teammates to retain possession. Millersville back on top by a point. Morgan. Roberts is all alone down there, but Ross hammers him a little bit.
I think that's, yeah, number 1 on Ross.
Ross came in from the weak side to help out, and he said, Jonathan, if you're going to get it, you're going to have to go through me.
His hand was on the ball, but unfortunately the rest of his body was blocking out Roberts. Roberts can tie it up and take the lead again now.
Maybe part of the strategy here, Bob, bring freshman Don Ross in and let him do some hacking in there on Roberts, wear him down, yeah. He can foul out your whole front line if you don't watch out.
Right, and he missed one. He's 3 for 5 so far from the foul line. Tied up.
2:10 left first half. Pretty good ball game. Bradfield from 3. Nope.
But Ross had his hands on it and lost control. That was a good call. The crowd didn't like it much. But Bradfield trying to pop another 3-pointer. Millersville seems to be taking awfully high percentage of 3-point shots so far.
I'll check it when I get a chance, Bob, but they are a very good 3-point shooting team. And one of the reasons they take so many is they make a lot of them. There's Ross again. They're going to call that an offensive foul, I believe.
Yeah,
and Roberts can't believe it.
I think Roberts pushed him a little bit, you know, used the arm there, and that'll do it. That's 2 on Roberts. Maybe he'll sit down a little here. Now we've got a timeout.
John Cochan's going to call a timeout, and I think during this timeout, we will take a break with 11:51 left in the first half, and the score tied at 18. John Cochan, Millersville coach, who, as we said earlier, is 72-7 on this floor since coming here to Millersville. So the odds are Stroud's in trouble, but they're playing well right now, tied at 18.
A little more than half the first half to go, and it's all tied up.
Getting it to Tommy Gaines down low, can't get the roll. Look at Ross hitting the offensive board and following it in. The freshman gets his first bucket.
Nice play by Ross.
Speaking of, whoops, there's a technical on somebody.
Somebody didn't like it, and they called it on, I think
it was on the Stroud bench, yeah. The trailing official heard something as he was going by. Now they're still talking.
He didn't like it.
Here's Bobby Bradfield to shoot the tee. In fact, he should shoot 2 tees, and he will. Whoop.
Missed them both.
You don't see that often. Look at him. He's still jawing. His second-year coach, Sal Mentesana. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Does that sound about right, Bob?
Close enough.
Okay. We'll call him Sal M.
All right.
Yeah,
How about
Cowie.
just coach?
Coach, right.
Any time of the shot clock. Oh,
Nice pass. And Yankowie muscles it in. That's 8 for Eric Yankowie.
It's a Yankowie yank, right?
Right.
Yanked it away from him.
Morgan, nice running one-hander. Take it away.
Offensive.
Sal is not happy with that call either.
But there's nothing Sal can do about it.
Rick Morgan with his first foul for the Warriors, and Millersville quietly enjoying a 4-point lead and the basketball.
John Cachan must have told him something during that timeout. It's working so far.
Trying to get it down low where they do have an advantage. Here's Gaines has been quiet. Look at Yankowie. No,
offensive.
take that one away.
Offensive.
Uh-oh, and that's 3 on Yankowie.
That's right.
That's going to hurt.
I believe that was Roberts. No, it's not Roberts. It was number 22, Yuri, who held his ground that time, and Yankowie had the right idea. Just can't run into the other guy like that.
That might be the last of Eric Yankowie here in the first half, as Nevin teams with Gaines and Ross up front. Ross getting a lot of ticks here in the first half. Nice dump to the freshman, Darling.
Way to keep that alive. And it stays with East Stroudsburg. That ball was tipped more than anything else. I couldn't give anybody a rebound on that.
Good hustle by Todd Painter. Yeah, Kevin Everly is back in number 50 for the Warriors. He hit the first bucket of the game, a 3-pointer. Here's Darling on a design play, but Nevin blocks the shot.
Right there, the 2-3 zone now is working for the Marauders. They were in man-to-man earlier, but they slipped into the zone now, and it's been effective.
Gaines, they got to get him working. He still can't get it to drop. Tommy Gaines, the Marauder leading scorer, has only 2. Yuri, close to a travel, but they give him the bucket.
Looked too easy.
Millersville 22-20 with 10 minutes exactly left first half.
Zone doesn't work when it's against the break.
Ross. Nope.
On board.
Ross again. Donnie Ross didn't quit. He gets an offensive rebound and a follow-up basket. Good hustle by the freshman.
Ross is a tough player.
Now steals the ball, Bob.
Another turnover to Stroud. That's at least 6.
Monroe looking for his first one, and he gets it.
Stopped and popped and nothing but net.
Millersville quickly with a spurt, leading by 6. Notice Roberts isn't in there, and consequently, the Warrior offense has suffered. Here's Bradfield on the turnover.
He's going.
You bet. Largest lead of the night for Millersville, 28-20, and Stroud has seen enough. Bob, timeout. Stroud calls it with 9:10 left in the first half, and Millersville up by 8. We'll be right back. We were informed that Millersville is on a 10-2 run in the last 2.5 minutes, and that is obviously taken that tie to an 8-point lead for Millersville, 28-20. We almost forgot, maybe because we wanted to, Millersville's women's final is not anything to get excited about.
No.
Sorry to say, the Marauder women lost by 20.
That's right.
In the opening game, Bob.
73-53. Stroudsburg women looking pretty good this year, and Millersville sort of in a rebuilding year, I would have to say, diplomatically.
We will have the Millersville women on as part of a ladies men's doubleheader in a couple of weeks here on Suburban Cable 22. Tell you more about that. Good ball movement. Morgan, he's got it. Got the pick on the weak side, and Morgan drops in the 8-footer, and that breaks that long run by Millersville. 28-22 Marauders. 8:40 left in the first half. Here's Rob Bard, who's into the lineup. Won't go.
Pretty passing to get it open to Bard in the paint, but just was a little too hard off the back of the rim.
Now the Marauder front line is Bard, Ross, and Gaines.
Oh, nice speed.
And there's Roberts, who was mugged. Who's going to get the call? Ross?
Bard. Not Bard.
Bard?
And that's 7 on Millersville.
Check that, Bob. They call it on number
They did
5.
call on Ross. I'm sorry. You're right. That's number 2. Okay. Looked like they were pointing at Bard as they walked away. Still 7 fouls on Millersville.
Not a Millersville guard with a foul, Bob. Not one. The Marauder front line battling Roberts all night in all kinds of foul problems. 3 for Yankowie, 2 for Nevin, and 2 for Ross.
That one.
Here's the 8th foul shot of the half for Jonathan Roberts. He is 5 for 7 right now.
What's that? 4 for 8. Or 5 for 8, I'm sorry. Just a little better than 50% at the foul line for Roberts, but he's probably going to be there all night.
Nice move by Bard, and then Roberts rejects him anyway. Good D by Jonathan Roberts.
Roberts watched it all the way and wasn't fooled at all by any Bard's moves.
3-pointer, you bet.
Oh.
Mike Del Grosso, and the Warriors will not fold. They took an 8-point deficit. It's right down to 2 in less than a minute.
Yeah, between the timeouts now, the first timeout to the last timeout, it was all Millersville. After this last timeout, it's been all Stroudsburg.
Nevin barrels his way in. Nice feed from Bard. The Marauders by 4.
Took charge on that one. Nobody could stop him.
Remember,
thought about it.
Yankowie has been on the bench for over 3 minutes. There's another 3-pointer. This time by the diminutive Jacques Armand. Yeah, or Armand. 30-29 Millersville. Ross. Yes.
Nice shot by Ross. Had to roll around a bit, but he got the right roll.
Nice first half for the freshman from Hershey.
Yeah, we're going to hear a lot more from him. There's no doubt about that.
I think Bradfield just about ripped the arm out of the socket of Edwards, or Roberts. I want to keep calling him Jonathan Edwards. I have no idea why.
Could you sing one of his songs? Bradfield's buzzing around out there. You mentioned that's the first foul on a Millersville guard, I believe, and they're going to go shoot a 1-on-1.
If you took a little snooze about 3 minutes ago and you looked up and Roberts is back at the foul line, you didn't miss anything. He's been there now 9 times. And here comes the 10th shot. And we're not nearly at halftime yet. 7 minutes to go.
He's 6 for 9 at the foul line. He's got 8 points total, and of that 8.6, of course, are free throws.
The officials are all smiling down there, having a wonderful time concerning something. He's got them both.
Could have easily called a lane violation on that one, I think, but they didn't. A media timeout. Wow.
Ah, that's just because we're here tonight, Bob. Timeout on the floor with 7 minutes exactly left, and the Warriors bending but won't break. They're right there, down by only 1. Here's the Marauder mascot trying to mess up the Warrior huddle, but they won't have any of it. Millersville with balanced scoring. Harris with 6, Nevin 6, Ross 6, and Yankowie 8 to lead the way.
I'd say that's balanced, yeah. Their coach Sana down there was kneeling on one foot, and he was telling them, "It's yours for the taking, guys. Listen to me. Believe what I'm saying. Believe in yourselves." Yeah, I've heard it before.
Monroe gets a whistle out front.
Number 12, I think, is going to be called for that. The diminutive you called him? Jacques Armand, or Jacques Armand, if we like the French derivation.
The Marauders
still only 6 fouls.
Right, unable to enjoy that bonus as yet. Bradfield, Monroe, Harris are the 3 guard-oriented offense with Ross and Gaines. So here's another combination Coach Han is trying. Harris lets it fly and has it. Another 3-pointer for Matt Harris, who earlier in the half broke Andrew Marshall's single-season record. That's 69 of them for Harris.
Bradfield buzzing around again and got a little too close. That's 2 on Bradfield, and it's going to be a 1-on-1 shot.
Boy, it's a steady trip to the foul line. We are rarely getting 30 ticks of the clock before the Warriors are shooting some foul shots. It's going to be a long night if that continues. This time it is Mike Del Grosso, number 4, gone to the line. Del Grosso, the sophomore out of Liberty.
Probably a pretty good free throw shooter, don't you think? Their three-point threat.
The Warriors are a pretty good free throw shooting team, although this is the first Warrior at the line other than Roberts in the first half, and he's got them both.
Down to a 2-point lead again. Would we call it tenuous?
That's a good, I'd use that, yes. The Warriors are 9 for 12 in the first half from the free throw line, and if Millersville keeps fouling them, they'll keep going.
Ross bumped into 44, and they're calling an offensive foul.
I've got 3 on Don Ross now, Bob.
So do I. I guess that means we're right.
Where does Cochan go from here? Back to Phil Nevin. He only has 2, but the Marauder front court in trouble. Del Grosso. Morgan is open, can't get the open jumper, and Ross has it, and now Bradfield is running.
And he should be able to do this.
Little strong. Look at Ross over the top. A
Amazing.
break for Millersville. He didn't get whistled for his 4th foul.
He almost got whistled down here coming over the back on the defensive rebound. That's twice he could have had it. Turnover.
Millersville running again. 2 on nobody.
Got it.
Monroe.
High percentage shot for Monroe.
37-33 in a game that's had its share of turnovers.
Got another one.
And fouls. Monroe with another turnover and another layup. Bradfield gives Millersville a 6-point lead again.
And this full court press has Stroudsburg off its feed.
Morgan blocked by Matt Harris.
And we've got another, well, 2 on 3 now. He'll wait for them to catch up.
Harris, decided to take that one to the hole and pulled it back.
Slammed into Gaines. He's going to shoot.
Gaines.
And they need that from him.
Tommy Gaines has been very quiet tonight. Only his 2nd bucket. The lead is back to 8. That's a travel.
You bet it is. Last 30 seconds have been kind of a flurry of activity, all for the Marauders. Another timeout, and it's going back to the Marauder side again. And of course, that was the media timeout that they can attribute to us directly.
Right. This is a timeout called by Stroud as he wants to stop the bleeding, does their 2nd-year coach. Millersville up by 8. 5:07 left first half, and we will be back in just a moment. Once again, the PA announcer is reminding the fans here that Matt Harris broke the single-season 3-point record. He did that earlier here in this half. He has 3 of them on the night. Harris has 9 points to lead the Millersville scoring, believe it or not. Yan Cowie has been on the bench for a good 5.5 minutes, has 8. Millersville's lead is 8, and here comes Monroe. Gaines, there was a pass to the front row.
I think Bradfield was waiting for Gaines to stop in the middle. What was that? To stop in the middle and take a shot, a hook shot, something, but he threw it out of bounds. Bradfield was totally unprepared for that pass.
Another Millersville freshman has checked in. Lance Gelnett, number 24, another talented young man. Gelnett comes from the Millersburg area up along the river. Nice jumper there by Everly.
He's been fairly quiet. That's his 5th point.
Yeah, he scored the first point of the first bucket of the game, and that's the first we've heard from Everly ever since.
Millersville looks a little sloppy after that timeout again.
Nice pass by Monroe.
Very nice. And they can do that all night if they can get Nevin open.
4:20 left. Millersville by 8. Here's Everly. Darling, a little strong, and the Warriors still have it.
Long rebound there. I think they're trying to get another foul on Nevin. They'd like to see another one before the end of the half.
Millersville leading by 8, but that is a real negative, Bob. Millersville's front court in a lot of foul trouble.
Well, Roberts is out right now, so Millersville should be able to control this game.
Roberts has 2 fouls, and I don't know whether that scares their coach, but I'm surprised he's been out this long.
Nice
Look at
move.
Monroe. Fouled, and it counts.
What a nice move. He just kept going sidestep back, right around his man, and his man was so flustered he fouled him.
Well, I may be wrong, but since John Cochan went with the 3-guard oriented offense, Bob, and I mean Harris, Monroe, and Bradfield, it has really worked, and it is the largest Millersville lead of the night right now, 45-35.
That's right, that 10-pointer is looking pretty good right now to Cochan, and we have a chance to make it 11. Oh, missed it.
Look at Gaines.
Nice board.
Oop, almost took it.
Nice board.
Away.
Nice offensive rebound from Gaines. Chance to go up 12.
Monroe. Boy, has he come alive with 8 points in the last 3 minutes.
Didn't blow it the second time, and now it is a 12-point lead.
Still no Jonathan Roberts.
And it looks like every time a Stroudsburg player gets a hold of that ball, there's a couple of Millersville hands right in his face.
Darling couldn't believe it. His glasses went into the out-of-bounds area, and he's still trying to pick up pieces. Here's Bradfield. You bet.
Oh, it's all falling now. He's got to call a timeout. Got to.
Bradfield and Monroe leading the charge. Millersville by 15.
He's going to let it go a little longer.
Darling's going to try it again. Uh-oh, there's a whistle.
Is that on? From behind.
Gelnett, I think, trying to help out. He can afford it.
That's right. It still puts him at the line, 1-1.
24 Gelnett is first. 44 Bard in the lineup for the Marauders, replaces Nevin.
Bard is going to come back in for Nevin. Rob, about the only Marauder front court performer without any fouls.
The only one that hasn't scored as well.
Replaces Mike Monroe.
An 18-4 run by the Marauders
In the last 4 minutes.
And I'll tell you what, in those 4 minutes, Bradfield has 7 and Monroe 8, so there's 15 of the points right there. They have really led the way, Bob.
Yeah, I think they're feeling a little better about being in control. Another 3-pointer.
Harris misses.
Gaines. And Gaines was fouled.
They're going to call it on Todd Painter, or Painton, number 34.
It's his first, I think. That'll be 1-1.
Finally, Millersville enjoys the bonus, and Tommy Gaines will go to the line with only 4 points.
Very unusual that Millersville would be up 15 points and Gaines only has 4 of them.
Check our notes somewhere to see, I know Gaines is up around 18 points per game and having a rough first half against the Warriors. And yet, as Bob just pointed out, Millersville leads by 15. He misses it. Nice move, and that was goaltending. Very good call by the trail official who saw one of the Marauders get their hands on it. So,
from behind.
Got to give it to Todd Painton for his first field goal on the goaltend.
Basket by Payton, 50-37. Marauders.
Oh. Going into Gaines again.
Traveled.
Traveled.
They're getting the ball into Gaines.
Yeah, this 13-point lead, though, is built mostly on turnovers. I have the Warriors with at least 12 so far, while Millersville's chugging along with 6. So I think that's the story right now, at least in this last 5 minutes.
Yeah, the Millersville pressure, particularly Bard and Monroe and Harris, are really creating problems for the Warriors, and the Marauders turning a lot of those turnovers into buckets at the other end. Monroe is out there out of the game right now. Uri.
Air ball, and I think somebody got a hand on that just as he shot it. It deflected a little. You can hear the air ball cry go up from the crowd.
Look out.
He traveled first, though.
Wow.
Harris traveled first and then tried to make it look like he was going to be knocked down to the floor. Unfortunately, the contact came after the travel. Now we've got another turnover for the Marauders.
Now Monroe is back in, this time for Gelnett, so it's that 3-guard group again. Harris, Bradfield, and Monroe to go with Bard and Gaines.
It's been about 5 different games so far, Bill. We're still in the first half.
Well, Cochan, that's Coach Cochan, looking for a combination that would work, and he finally found it with this 3-guard group. Uri, no, rebound Gaines.
They found their air ball, Chad, now.
Minute and a half left first half. It's been a long first half due to primarily a lot of fouling and a lot of trips to the foul line. There's another whistle. And we're going to have more fouls shot as Armand gets called for number 3. I've got him for, Bob.
Exactly.
Third foul on Armand. 23, Morgan back in the lineup. Steve Stroud.
shoot 1 and 1.
By the way, at halftime, and we usually try every season to get a little time with Greg Wright, the Millersville Sports Information Director, and he'll be joining Bob Thompson live at halftime, talking a little bit about postseason play in the PSAC and just some, I guess, some duties at the SID. Hopefully, one of those duties is to bring food up here to the press box at halftime.
That shot Gaines just made, I think, Bill, is the first free throw the Marauders have made all night.
You're absolutely right.
And there's number 2. So they now have made 2, but prior to that, they've missed 6.
Tommy Gaines has a half dozen, and Millersville's lead is back to 15.
Oh.
Roberts, that's money in the bank. Whoop! Good defense by Bard, and he missed the dunk.
Nice play by Bard. Lucky he wasn't called for a foul.
Bard leans in and misses, and there's a good...
I'm going to call that on 34.
Ooh. Frankly, I was watching Payton, who looked like he simply had good position, but one official likes to tweet on that whistle, called Payton for pushing off.
Yeah, I think that was more of a box out contact than it was a foul, but we'll take it.
Tommy Gaines back at the free throw line. The leading Marauder scorer and rebounder. And remember, one other little note, in case you forgot it. Millersville's made this run with Eric Yankowie on the bench. He went down with 10:56 left in the first half with his 3rd foul. And pretty much a tie ball game at the time, 1 point here and there, and all of a sudden the Marauders have spurted without Yankowie.
The difference was that full court pressure. Stroudsburg couldn't handle it.
Uri, you bet.
Wide open shot like that, that's...
Uri now with 9 first half points, and Stroud is back to within 14. 45 seconds left. Bradfield knocked out by Bard.
Yeah, he must be under strict orders that if he's alone at the three-point line, to just take it.
I think Harris and Bradfield are both under those green light instructions. Let it go.
Well, Stroud may want to hold here. The shot clock is off, of course, for that last shot. Guess
nice
not.
block by Bard. 22 seconds left. Millersville, what else is new running? 4 on 2. Harris for 3. Harris now has 4 trays in the first half, and Millersville balloons to a 17-point lead.
Maybe they should have held it for that last shot.
Now they're going to let fly. Uri answers with 3.
When he's open, that's money in the bank.
He's got a dozen now, Bob. Whoa!
Almost a buzzer beater, Bill.
Harris tried a 35-footer that almost went. Well, an interesting first half. The Warriors, to say the least, came to play, and they had Millersville trying everything. And finally, with about 7 minutes to go, Coach Cochan went to that 3-guard offense and turned the pressure up, and it made a difference. Millersville spurted to a 10-point lead, then a dozen. It went at 1 point to 17 before Uri answered with that 3-pointer just before the buzzer. So it's halftime. The Marauders lead by 14.
In the number 1 seed, we'll play the number 2 seed.
Thompson live on Suburban Cable 22. 56-42 Marauders. And Robert, numbers. One of the only numbers that really jump out at me is the turnovers. 15 for Stroud, only 9 for Millersville. But rebounding, only a 1-point advantage for Millersville. Millersville is shooting almost 56% to Stroud's 44. But I think the key to the first half was that lineup that Coach Cochan put in toward the end with the 3 guards, their pressure, the turnovers resulting in the easy buckets, particularly Monroe and Bradfield. And a close game just in a hurry became a 14-point Marauder lead.
Yeah, the young Stroudsburg backcourt could not handle that pressure, and if Millersville gets in trouble again, I think you'll see them go to that full court pressure again. Right now, they're not going to need it. It looks like Yankowie will come back in and start the second half. Right now, the leading scorer for Millersville is, I think, Harris with 12, all of them 3-pointers. And for East Stroudsburg, Uri also with 12, 2 of them 3-pointers.
Now, the one negative for the Marauders, if you're joining us late, is they are in some foul trouble, particularly their front court. Here's a steal to open the second half, and here's Yankowie. He says, I sat out half that half, and I want to remind you that I'm back. Yankowie now has 10.
He's back in the game with the vengeance, and another turnover to start this half for East Stroudsburg. Does not bode well.
Yeah, Yankowie has 3, Ross 3, Nevin 2, Bradfield 2. Roberts
from the outside.
Roberts' average is over 20. He was held to 9 in the first half. Nevin hustles back to help out.
Coming back to help out, and he had to because that 5 seconds was just about up to get the ball in.
So Millersville opens with Harris, Monroe, Gaines. Look at Gaines all alone in the baseline. You bet. Can't do that.
I think they were lulled to sleep by Tommy in that first half, and they're going to pay for it if they don't get on him.
Nevin and Yan Cowie starting for the Marauders. Let's see for the Warriors. That's Del Grosso from 3. He missed. Ooh, Uri just clobbered Nevin. No whistle. Roberts is out there. So is number 34, Todd Payton. And who are we missing? Number 12 is, of course, the young guard, Jock Armand, as the shot was missed by Millersville.
Harris, another three-pointer. That one did not go.
Soft jumper in close for Payton, who was a surprise starter for the Warriors tonight and has played pretty well. Yan Cowie from 12. You bet.
Eric Cowie.
And he is definitely back. That last shot looked fairly easy that Payton made. I think Nevin was not going to take a chance and get a third foul early in this half. He was just going to give him the shot. He found himself unable to take that chance.
Dangerous pass. There's Payton again. Uses the rim for some protection, and he lays it in. 62-48 Millersville as Yan Cowie throws that one up short. It comes right back to him, but he's laying on the end line.
Would have been a nice play, but unfortunately, part of his shirt, I think, was on the end line. So we've got a turnover now. Scoring and turnovers even in this second half so far.
Rick Morgan is already checked in, and that is exactly what Coach Sal Mendesana did the entire first half. He kept shuttling people in through a revolving door.
Harris almost pulled that out of number 22's hands down there. That, of course, is Uri, but unfortunately, Harris couldn't quite control it, stepped on the end line.
Now Coach Cochan doing the same thing. Here's Bard in the lineup in a hurry for Nevin, and we haven't even played 2.5 minutes of this second half.
Well, the coach has to do something.
Travel.
He sure did. He didn't want to.
He was strolling.
Unfortunately, in basketball, it's not a question of intent.